of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, this can be viewed by the public, and you can always find the information for joining us on our website for the courthouse. And you can also call in with comments at the end with our public comments. And so let's, as everybody had a chance to look at the agenda, I know Steve, you didn't realize there was an addition. Number 8, it will now be St. Ansgar Rescue Funding Unit, and I did copy out some extras for you, so you're aware. You can try to look at it here.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't have any changes for the agenda.
I'll move to approve the agenda.
Second?
Okay. Any further discussion? Not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And so that's approved. And how about the minutes? Did you have any concerns there?
So moved.
Seconded.
No further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes are approved. Do we have the county attorney on the phone?
Mark, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yep. I don't have anything unless you have some questions for me.
We may later on, but I don't at the moment.
Okay. I'm just going to mute myself then. If you have questions for me, it'll take me just a second to unmute and then I'll answer.
Sure. Okay, thank you, Mark. Okay, discuss urban renewal for small business and current business conditions. Tony, are you on the line? Do you want to grab Tony, Casey?
I'll go get him.
Apologies, the clock snuck up on me.
That's okay, Tony.
Oh, come on up a little closer. Tony, come on up a little closer, one of these.
Okay, Tony, do you want to, we were going to discuss the urban renewal for small business and current business conditions. We did receive a letter from Mr. Winters with his opinions on it. Do you want to, have you seen this letter at all, Tony?
I did.
Okay. Is there anything you want to address?
A alteration to the urban renewal, and it would not cost us anything more to add these new properties to the list. So it was simply an opportunity to maybe save the county some money down the road if it so chose. By adding these businesses to the urban renewal does not really affect the properties at all. For whatever reason, I know that there is a lot of distrust in the public when it comes to the urban renewal district. There's a lot of misunderstanding and there's a lot of fear of being in the urban renewal plan. And I really wish I could address it directly with the people that have that fear, that misunderstanding of it, to try to help them understand, but can't seem to communicate that to the
Yeah,
people
and
that do
I would encourage anybody to call you on that too, and I myself have checked too, you know, if it changes a person's taxes or anything, and
Right.
I can't see where it affects anything.
I can't either, and again, I'm open to discussion if I can be shown where it has, I would want to see that. Because I'm only going by what I can actually see and what I understand is part of the law.
So being part of an urban renewal, it's just a designation that can possibly provide some benefits to that piece of property if
Right,
the Board of Supervisors so desire.
right.
Is about what it boils down to. It's not going to affect your property taxes one iota. It's not going to affect the valuation of your property one iota. It's just a designation that can assist and have some benefits for the piece of property.
Again, I don't know how else I can say it to have it go forward, but the idea that we are somehow doing some kind of land grab to gain control of someone's property is simply not true. There is no nefarious plan to do anything of that such, and I will leave it at that.
Opinions?
What's that?
Do you have some opinions you want to express?
Well, again, at the present time, this whole government assistance thing is just in the beginning stages. We have no idea if how the federal government, if this is going to really be effective, if it's not going to be effective. It's, like I say, too early into the system. But Cerro Gordo County had come up with a program that they are going forward with. Again, I felt that, and I do feel that it's a good program. We ought to copy it. They basically have no problem with us copying it, and but we do not have to go forward with it at this time. It's available if in the future that we wanted to do something. And again, right now it's too early in the game to, the federal and state may come through, and then again, if there's businesses here that would have to shut their doors because of this virus thing and never open again, we may not want to see that. But that's, again, something for the future. I think right now that we have to do the best job we can to plan for the future and hope we don't have to use it.
Barb, can I add one quick thing? One question you had asked me earlier, and I wanted to make sure that I was clear on. The only reason we're looking at urban renewal for this is so that it would make available TIF revenue for economic assistance. I tried to make the point before, that does not preclude you guys from doing a separate program from TIF revenue if you chose, and then there is no requirement to have to be in an urban renewal. So down the road, if you chose to do another program, because the program that Stan is referring to in Cerro Gordo County is not funded by TIF revenue. It is by general revenue that the counties and the cities have all put in to do this program. It was only suggested that since you had some revenue that you could use for that there was that caveat that they have to be an urban renewal. That's the only reason it was brought up, is because that you would not be able to distribute it as fairly if they were not in the urban renewal. People would be excluded just because they weren't in urban renewal. The need would have nothing to do with it.
So technically, we could help people out if we chose to down the road. And,
Right.
and like we all said, we've all agreed that it's too early to make that
Right.
kind of decision.
Right.
We really don't need to do this at this time.
Right.
And if for some reason we do want to use the TIF money we have, because I will be against any new TIF money. We can change it at that time.
Right.
It doesn't take that long to get that
Right.
switched over.
Yeah.
And you already have your list of names. So at this time, I am against doing anything with this.
Now, when you say you're against doing anything, are you talking about?
Against changing anything as far as into urban renewal right now.
So you're not wanting to add new things to the urban renewal, is that what you're?
Not at this time.
Well, again, if you don't do it now, when we're going forward with the urban renewal to include the 56 windmill turbines, it would cost us $3,000 to $4,000 extra to add those people later on. It would be foolish not to add them right now.
Well, I'm still sticking to that I'm not going to do anything more in TIF. I am going by that Standards and Poor report of not having any more heavy debt for the next 2 years. I'm really going by that as far as the big stuff.
Where did they say that no more debt for the next 2 years?
Oh, I don't know if I have it with me, but I definitely have a copy of it. Shoot, I think I actually have it at home. Yeah.
That was one of the things they asked during that interview.
I highlighted it.
No, what they ask is, are you planning to have any more debt for the next 2 years?
Right.
At that
But
time,
there's
at that
another
time, we
part
said no.
There's another part that actually says that we should not have, add anything big, and that we would be fine
Anything
with the
big.
rating we have now.
No, I mean, again, what is the,
Well, you're talking, you want to use TIF money eventually for this urban change that you're making, and I don't.
well,
Steve, would you like to give your opinion, please?
Well, it was no from the beginning, so it's probably still no.
That's what I get.
And again, my thoughts was, you can't beat Uncle Sam, and you can't beat the state of Iowa. How can the county be better?
And hopefully we'll have the opportunity to talk to some of the area bankers here about 9 o'clock. But I have gotten good reports from some of the area bankers of how well the program has been working.
Yes, I appreciate that you
Time
told
will
them.
tell whether the relief the businesses have gotten will be enough to keep things going. That, time will tell there. But the programs that the federal and state government have enacted, I think there was some early hiccups, but it sounds to me like they've gotten past that and it's going fairly well. I've shared a few emails I've gotten from some of the bankers with Barb earlier that suggesting that things are going as well as they could at this point in time, so there is not a big rush to be able to do anything, and hopefully things will improve soon, so I think you maybe could be right on that.
Yeah, we're just keeping them in the back of our heads.
Yeah, one question I do have, we had a number of parcels that had been requested to be added to, and we have always done that in the past. Are you okay with,
Well, if they've
if
requested,
they requested it,
Sure.
include that in the list? Okay, so it's just the.
I mean, what do you guys think? If they've requested,
Okay,
you fine with that?
well, why not?
Yeah,
I'll go back through the list and we'll find that cutoff and go from there. Okay.
okay. Well, if we have no further discussion, let's go on to the county engineer.
Rich, are you there?
I'm here, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah,
Not too much to discuss. We do have on the agenda the 10-hour work days, and the union has voted on it. They want to do a May 4th to September 4th start on 10-hour days. It's been typical the last few years of their start dates. I honestly this year don't think it's that bad of a time to do 10-hour days for a couple different reasons this year, with schools being closed and, less traffic on the road. If we do run into a situation, I've always been a proponent of drinking beer on Fridays because school's still in session in May, but at this point in time, we don't have that. I don't know that that's gonna really pick up this year. I got a sneaking suspicion school might be out forever, but, or at least the rest of the year. But that's just me, that's my suspicion, sorry. The other thing is, right now, we go to 10-hour days, we got one less day of contact. And so with the COVID-19, that's one less day we need to really worry about, you know, our social distancing and things like that. It kind of gives us a little bit more, I guess, protection. So I'm not against the 10-hour days this year, for the union. So if we go from May 4th to September 4th, that's something I probably recommend we get going on.
Normally, you know me, Rich, I kind of have been pushing that I wanted some kind of rotating thing, that at least we had a couple guys there on Friday, but for all the reasons that you have just said, I am totally fine with the 10-hour days. How about you guys?
Well, we need a motion on that, don't we?
Yes.
So move.
I'll second it. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
And we already have our opposed nay. Okay. It has passed though, Rich, so you can go ahead and
Okay.
have our support.
I'll let the guys know. One thing that I want to talk about real briefly, and I think I forwarded you guys the email last week from the DOT and things like that. Maybe I can't remember if I discussed it last week or not, but just keep in mind, you know, with the virus and what's happening, there's less travel on the highways now, less fuel being burned. Our funding, farm to market funding, road use tax money is all fuel related, and also with fuel related, it's also car sales related. Now, the truck traffic hasn't seemed to slow down on the interstates like the DOT says. They're still moving product around. That's been staying pretty steady. It's the vehicle traffic that's really been reduced. So keep in mind that projects we have in the queue and are let, we're using our funding for that we have existing, but in the next couple of months, we're probably most likely to see that funding drop just based on the revenues that are coming in from the fuel tax and new car sales with titling and things like that. So keep that in mind when you guys might be thinking about, and I know it's a tough situation to think about funding and whatnot, but we could be kind of strapped here for a while if the federal government step in and try to backfill some of these losses. So just something I want you guys to think about. You know, not that we have to jump on anything right now. We are still in the dark with the DOT and the Fed on what funding is going to do, and I know that they're supposedly working on a pact, but we don't know when that'll come, what it'll even entail. I know a lot of times in 2008 they were talking about, you know, we had the night for what the stimulus was then, but they had us, well, and this was before I was here, but they wanted us to, you know, they wanted shovel-ready projects. There aren't very many counties that have shovel-ready projects. We've got projects in our 5-year plan that we look at, you know, as a sequential order in which we want to pave roads and repair roads. I think back in 2008, they wanted something that wasn't even planned, which makes no sense to me at all. Why would you, something that's not necessary at that 5-year window, just to pave something, you know, just to repair something? Why would you do something new and you have a few of items in your 5-year plan that need work? So just keep in mind what we're probably looking at. And right now, funding could very well be kind of tight. A lot of our road use tax money that goes to rocking the road, well, that's one of our bigger items in the program or in the budget. Rocking roads at wintertime removal. So those are pretty big items to take. That comes down to the funding. Just want to keep that in the back of your heads, I guess. That's what we're all looking at in this county state.
Sure, and just to make people aware, Rich had Casey put on our website 3 videos, educational videos. One's on bridge weights and the other's effective overweight vehicles, and then I actually had time to watch the spring thaw of roads. So if anybody wants to watch them, they're on our website.
I watched all 3 of them.
Yeah, there's links on the website, and yeah, I guess as infamous as we want to be in a situation, we are highlighted in the freeze thaw video, water grader buried in the highway and the gravel road. So good or bad, I guess it shows how bad it can be out there.
Our moment of fame.
I'm kind of leaning towards you won't have any of them problems this year.
I think we're going to be in a little bit better shape than we were last year. You know, as long as the rains stay, we've got the snow's gone now, and we start to see frost come up. I think we won't see anything like we did last year this year, but who knows what Mother Nature wants to do to us.
Correct. I did see that some of the roads are weeping a little bit, but I
They've
don't.
been doing that in the last week or so, but you know, we got lucky with the snow on Sunday.
Boy, did
It's
we.
amazing how big of a difference it was between the 2 counties Sunday when I went out to check roads. So we dodged the bullet there compared to some counties. Just as an FYI, one of our former employees sent me a picture. He's in Palo Alto County now, and he had his V-plow on trying to bust through a drift. So that's how bad it was in his county. So pretty interesting stuff out there for April.
Yeah.
But that's all I have for today.
Okay, thank you, Rich. All right, let's move on to the county social services building contract and the building roof.
Steve, can I possibly break in?
Luann Murphy.
Luann? Sure, Luann Murphy, go ahead. What?
Tony asked me to give you guys a little update on what's going on out here as far as businesses.
Oh, kind of referring back to number 4 on our agenda.
Yeah, and to answer any questions that you might have. Right now, those businesses with employees, especially under 100, pretty well being taken care of, it appears, by the federal government.
Oh, good,
People who
okay.
are not being taken care of are the small mom and pop shops. Think daycare, think sole proprietors, massage therapists, hair care. All of those people are getting nothing at this point except possibly unemployment. And they're applying for unemployment at this point and not getting it. And the only reason we're having this conversation is I wanted you to know who's suffering if you're going to do any kind of a project. If you're not, I'm not advocating, I'm not advocating. I just wanted you to understand the situation.
No, that's good to know, Luann. You said massage, hair, home daycare. What else did you mention?
Any sole proprietor, basically. If you have no employees, all of these programs are designed to keep your employees working. Well, if you have no employees, if you're working for yourself, there's no program at this point that helps you.
That was my understanding too, Luann, because those are the ones that I'm really worried about too.
Right. And what concerns me is a lot of those are the ones that are barely putting a living together as it is, and their expenses are going to continue during those 3, 4, 5, 6 months. There's no income. And like I said, I'm not telling you what we need to do. I just wanted to point out the problem and let you guys work from there.
We appreciate that, Luann.
Okay.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Luann?
Yeah.
No, I think we're good, Luann.
Okay, I'm going to jump off. If anybody wants something, I will try and be available. I'm not taking appointments. We're doing everything by drop-off. But that doesn't mean that I'm not busy. But I will still try and tell you if there's anything I can help with.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Who's that?
Luann Murphy. She's got the CPA. Yeah,
Okay.
so she talks with a lot of people,
Okay.
at tax time. Okay, we were gonna talk about the county social service building contract first and then the building roof. I, as chair, had to sign a statement of substantial completion. And before I signed it, I did confer with Dave Hardo. And I also conferred with Gary Anderson, the project manager, to clarify the reasoning for a couple of things. And one was they talked about a 1-year warranty period that shall commence as of the substantial completion date. I asked for sure, I wanted a clarification of that, what that was for, and it was, as I guessed, it's for any kind of defective products on the entire project. But then there's also a part that talks about a 2-year period. And that's really good to have that in there because it makes sure that, say if you, on the last day of that first year, the furnace goes out, it gives you time to get that all taken care of. You'd have the whole next year to get all that taken care of. And then he also added that it's standard for 5% to be held back as retainage. That means they don't get that paid until all that list is taken care of. And so I did sign then after finding out that information. Now, does somebody want to talk about the roof? Are you guys more aware of what's going on with the roof?
The roof is bad. It was iffy whether the sheriff got it before they did, but being the sheriff's, the water was coming in and running right down on the computers.
Right,
He got the sheriff's
right.
office got
We had
that.
to do that, yeah.
That had to be done
Yeah.
because that could cause more damage. But social services building, or the services building, that roof is been leaking. David has been,
It is leaking. That's
yes,
what I
David
wanted
has
to know.
been monkeying with it, trying to keep it from, leaking anymore. But it is time, and the shingles are, what, 19 years old?
Almost 15.
15?
Be 15 late this fall.
15. So,
And it's been issue for a number of years.
yes, it's been a problem, but the sheriff's office got the go before it because it was thought that it was more important.
Right.
This is something that we'll have to think about in the future year.
I was gonna say, can it wait until our next budget?
It has to.
Right,
It has to wait until after July.
okay.
But this is just being
I
brought
just
up.
wanted to make sure it wasn't an emergency type situation
No,
that we
it's
needed to
being-
do right now.
It's being,
Okay,
Now, we're-
yeah, we definitely need to.
David is making it last, but if we wait any longer and we get more damage underneath them shingles, then it
Well,
will
yeah.
cost us more.
We have our new addition, we don't wanna wreck anything.
Be good to have it done this summer. And
Yes.
not wait till fall like it was when it was built.
Yeah, I would
And
agree
And that
with
may have
that.
led
Cold
to the
when the
reason
shingles
why
were put
it's,
on.
that could have been, doesn't have the summertime seal down, might have something to do with the leakage we have. I don't know, but
So what can we put in place now?
Is to
well,
start looking at getting
Getting some
bids to
bids and,
redo the roof.
my thoughts right now is we would definitely wanna have the contractor that did the sheriff's office, again, be able to throw a bid on that, and we have some other businesses that would probably be capable of throwing in some bids.
did you wanna work on that, Steve?
I can,
Do we need an actual type of vote or anything on something like this, or
Not
just,
at this
well, right
just
now,
that
we're
we're
not doing
supporting
nothing, but
going ahead?
we can go around and solicit bids, and then we can have a vote on a certain bid.
I would be good with that, cause I agree that I don't wanna wait and mess up our new building by waiting too long and having too much damage done,
Okay,
so, yeah, that'd be great. Okay. And we've got, need to approve our auditor's quarterly report of revenue. We should all have that in front of us.
I make a motion to approve the auditor's quarterly report.
Second?
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, then that quarterly report is approved. St. Ansgar rescue funding request. I made a copy for all of you guys and set that on your tables to look at. St. Ansgar is requesting, this is, Ben Walk actually is the president of the St. Ansgar Rescue. It's a nonprofit organization that responds to 911 emergency calls in St. Ansgar, Stacyville, and rural Mitchell County. They provide emergency medical care before the Mitchell County ambulance can respond. Our organization's made up of volunteers and funded by private donations from our local communities. We hold one fundraiser each year, a pancake breakfast held the first Sunday in January, where we get most of our funds. I'm writing the Board of Supervisors in hopes of receiving funding help to purchase a new Lucas mechanical CPR device. We currently have one of these in our St. Ansgar unit. We had one in our Stacyville unit on loan from the Mitchell County ambulance, who took it back when they got their new ambulance. Our group has decided this device is a necessity to have in each unit, and we're trying to gather funds. One of these devices, with all needed components, costs around $16,000. This amount would equal a large amount of our yearly expenses and take a large portion of our reserve funds. My request is for any amount of money the board sees fit, knowing the cost of the device. I know you're currently past your budgeting period and grant funding can be hard to allocate, but I ask that you please consider supporting our organization's desire to provide medical care to a large area of our county. I have submitted a grant application to Alliance Pipeline, but all other funding streams for equipment like this are focused on fighting the virus at this time. Does Ben happen to be on the line? Okay, so.
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. Do you guys have discussion or questions for Ben?
Stanley has nothing, I apparently do not either.
Well, what is your opinion, whether we should be giving money towards this?
Here's the thing. We would want to have an idea as, well, we have some idea of funding they have received or are possibly trying to get. Is there any other future funding that you are going after locally? Ben?
Locally, there's nothing else. We've tried, and the only grant I could find is that Alliance grant.
Okay, how about like Shop on State for their next time around? Are you gonna, try to get in on stuff like that?
Yep, that is the plan. We're gonna hit every grant that we can to try and get this, but right now on the medical side of things, there's just nothing out there to hold us.
So are you just starting to dig into this funding, looking, other than the pancake breakfast?
We're a couple weeks into it.
You've visited with your local businesses, per se, like Lindsay
We
Fall?
haven't tried anything with local businesses yet, basically just because of the kind of state of affairs of everything right now. So I just wanted to kind of put it out in front of you guys, start out, see if you
you guys have any resources as far as any grants that you know of because the boards you're on, or just what your thought was on it?
Well, local businesses get hit up all the time for everything. And,
Sounds like the supervisors.
well, but supervisors do have, the ability to help in some of these things. I mean, local businesses are in there to make a profit, and they can't fund every request that comes in their door.
As we can't.
I was gonna say, the county brings in fundings to maintain and run the county, but we're also expected to maintain a lot of other things. And this is something that is needed.
It's a very worthy.
It's an important object for them. I know it is.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I would hope that you could pursue in your locale.
What would you guys think about our standard $500? Because we really can't do anything else right now. The budget's already in place, but we do have an option. I know that's a drop in the bucket, but it will at least give them a start. How do you feel about that?
And like I said in the letter, anything is appreciated.
Yeah,
Well, no,
500 would be
we-
fine, but
we actually can do more than that, can't we, Lowell?
Probably could.
Yes.
And you could also put the information out, see if maybe private individuals would give donations for something
See,
like this.
that's the thing
Because
that
it
I'm-
benefits a lot of people.
That's
It would
what I'm-
benefit a lot of people.
trying to pursue here is that you get out on Facebook and stress for the need, and it's a kind of a,
Again, what is our ending balance projected to be for this year?
I don't have those figures with me, so.
Well, why don't we find that out and bring this again next week?
but get out there, Ben, and do some dialing on the phone with your local businesses and see what else you can come up with. We'll dig in here a little deeper to see what we can come up with.
All right.
We'll get back to you, Ben, and I'll see if I can think of some other sources you can try also.
All right, yeah, I just didn't know if maybe some of the boards you guys are on, if they ever talked about grant funding for
What is,
any initiatives or anything like that.
Yeah,
What is-
they're harder to come by, but yes, once in a while
have
we
you
do.
visited, I'm sure you visited with Chris, so, Olson.
I haven't talked to Chris much about it. I talked to a mutual board that we're on that usually handles that, and there's nothing there for it. As far as most of the state boards, it's all anything
I would-
PPE and
I would
that kind of
suggest
supplies.
visiting with Christopher and see if you can get a little input from him also. And then
All right, will do.
we'll revisit this issue in the future.
Yeah, we'll definitely keep this in mind, Ben, and if you want it on next week's agenda?
Yes, please.
Okay, we'll be talking again next week, okay?
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, Ben.
Yep.
Barb,
Yes,
I had asked a number of the area bankers to dial in around 9 o'clock for possible discussion with Luann.
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
if anyone has, but I guess I just wanted to ask if there is any of the local banker representatives, have anyone dialed in? Anyone there? Apparently not.
John with First Citizens.
There we go. Thanks, John.
and did you want to ask?
John, were you on when Luann was talking about her experience with the sole proprietors?
No, I wasn't. I just had logged in.
Okay, sorry, the timing of it was a little bit off. She was actually on here a little bit earlier. She had expressed that a number of the sole proprietors were having issues not able to find any kind of funding or any kind of assistance. Are you seeing anything like that in your world?
That PPP program
and I'm not sure what that stands for, a payroll protection program maybe or something. You know, that initiated for businesses or anybody that had payroll.
Right.
Last Friday, the SBA opened that up to sole proprietorship, but they really haven't given much guidance on that yet. So we haven't funded or done anything with those applications yet. We're just taking the applications and waiting for more guidance from SBA on how to proceed with those. With the businesses, it was fairly easy. You could just take their payroll divided by 12 to get an average monthly payroll expense, and then you take it times 2.5, and that's what they qualified for. But for sole proprietors, there's still some discussion as far as, take a farmer, for example, they're talking about just using Schedule F income, but then the question that they're dealing with now is, can they add back depreciation and some of those other expenses? So to answer your question, we are taking applications, but we're still waiting for some guidance and processing them.
Is there anybody else that dial in from the banks that's had any experience with the payroll protection plan? Sound like- Did anybody have any questions for John then?
I do not.
No.
I would say the response from the business side has really been overwhelming. I think at First Citizens as a whole, not just in Osage, but for First Citizens, I think we've processed 65 million in loan requests. So it's just been unbelievable.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to hear though, it sounds like they are trying to maybe work with something for the sole proprietors to figure out some help for them. They're just not there yet.
Yeah, we're waiting. I mean, this has been a pretty fluid thing, even from the business side. I mean, there's updates almost hourly from SBA and the Treasury on, and we're hoping even by noon today we'll have some more guidance on the sole proprietors. But again, it's just up to SBA when they get decisions made and get it down the system.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you, John. I appreciate you calling in. That's all I had.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, John.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sorry about that, Barb. I didn't.
No, that's fine.
I told them around 9, so
Sure.
that if anyone there, I wanted to make sure they were there.
You bet. Okay, let's go on to meetings attended. I had a home health meeting. They are getting waivers. Medicaid will actually pay for telephone appointments now through this virus. Dr. Ross is doing a lot of telehealth. They're screening before they go in the home using masks, face shields, gloves. They do have some tests to go to the homes for those who can't drive up. And then they started yesterday, they switched their hours for that testing at the Cedar River Complex to 9 to 11. And they have contacted Mennonites and the Amish, and they had already closed their schools, and they're working on getting them to close their churches too for temporarily. The census is lower, and one reason is there's one provider that is actually encouraging people not to use home and public health, which is really discouraging because this is a safety issue for these people. That was disturbing to hear. Now Jessa's totally gowned up when she visits actual corona cases, and she is the only one that visits people that have been confirmed with it.
We still only have 2, correct?
Yes, I have not. Wait a minute, did I hear of one more? Oh, no, I think that was just confirming one of those 2, yeah.
Okay. I have nothing, but I will next week. I'll have 2 next week.
And I had NICOG yesterday, and we met at Mason City. We met in the big conference room and sat far apart, and basically NICOG received $2.3 million to keep the transit system operating, which is more money than we can use all next year, but basically our ridership is down 80% right now. And so what has happened is a lot of our drivers for transit have been told to stay home, and yet again they're being paid the full amount because the federal government has allowed this to, and they're paying for it. The drivers that are driving, they are getting hazardous pay, so they're getting time and a half. Because again, you have people that are coughing on them or whatever else and so on and so forth. So if there are drivers that are driving, why, they're now receiving $22.50 an hour. That was the big discussion that we had yesterday, and everything else is pretty much, the Mason City office is not locked down. We don't normally have that many people coming in, so on and so forth. About 2 a day is also, it's remaining open to the public. That's my
Okay.
meeting.
Thank you. Clerk of monthly report of fees collected, that's just so note. Everybody's probably already looked at that.
Oh, yeah.
So, we'll move on, and,
We have board appointments yet.
oh, sorry, I skipped it, didn't I? We just need a vote for approval of Tracy Church for the North Iowa Regional Housing Authority Board.
I'll make a motion to approve Tracy Church for the North Iowa Housing Authority.
Okay,
Second?
all right. And with no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And so Tracy is approved, and did you already, Lowell, put her down in that one booklet I mentioned?
I need to add her, so
Sure.
I'll do both of them.
For NIAC too, yeah,
Yep.
that'd be good, thank you. Okay, now I think we're ready for public comments. I know Mr. Winters was hoping that I would retract what I said about him being wrong on the numbers, but I can't really retract that because the numbers, I talked with our auditor, Lowell and Rachel, and the numbers were off, but I do want to clarify that with the information he had, that I can see why he came up with those numbers. And this is why I really encourage everybody, like the sheet that he had, that might have been the one that was in the paper, but there's so much more to the budget than just one page. I mean, I think one of those documents was like 48 pages. Well, we can't publish all that. And so I really encourage people, if you have any question about any of it, just go into our auditor's office and they'll explain it to you. You know, whatever you need to know. So, do we have any call-in from the public?
Barb, can you hear me?
Yes.
Barb, this is Al Winters.
Okay.
You're on the phone, I guess, so.
Sure.
Say, I wanna thank the board and thank you for taking my concerns and recommendations regarding this effort to assist small businesses, hard here. I think you're moving this in the right direction, and I just wanna stress the importance of working with each local bank to truly assess the needs out there and provide guidance on any future decisions that you're gonna make. I think it's just imperative that we involve these bankers and work together as a team to help any business out there that's gonna struggle. And there's gonna be businesses that are gonna struggle severely. So, like I say, I just wanna thank both you, Barb and Steve, for the prudent decisions you're making here and for moving this thing forward in a good manner. So I hope you all have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you, Al.
Thanks, Al.
Any other public comments? Okay, hearing none, I will call this meeting adjourned.